Assalamualaikum to our beloved lecturer, Dr. Nur Chweni, and hi everyone. We are from AP1154F and from third group, which the members of our group consist of Muhammad Haziq Sirhan bin Muhammad Rezal, Farah Nor Waheeda binti Kamsani. Next is Ainur Fitriah binti Ainudin Fitri, also myself, Nurfadzli B Yahaya, and the last one would be Masitah binti Muhammad Saad. We guys would like to present our case study in research for factors affecting the housing preferences of home buyers in Malaysia.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Sirhan bin Rezal. Okay, today I will present about the sampling method and data collection. Okay, first of all, we need to understand about the sampling method. What is actually a sampling? Sampling is a scientific procedure of selecting a sample from a population. So, how to select the sample from a population? The answer is there are two types of sampling techniques. Sampling technique is a scientific method in selecting representative sample from a population. It means that we also need a scientific method in collecting sample because we need an accurate result for research. This is because every people in a population have a different characteristic in their interests. For example, there used to be a group of people who like to use public transport, but also there are also a group of people are comfortable to use their own transport. There are a lot of characteristics that we can discover in a certain population. So back to our report. The sampling technique that we have used is the non-probability technique. This is because when generalization of the population is not important and the sampling frame where the sample is to be selected is not available or difficult to obtain. We use quota sampling as our technique in selecting a respondent. This is due to the fact that quota sampling select respondent who match particular characteristics specified by the study. So the population that we have choose according to the report question is any home buyer who has signed a sale and purchase agreement, and the sampling frame is the list of home buyer in Malaysia. After that, I will talk about the data collection. How we collect data, how many data that we have been collected. There are a variety of data collection methods are available, and for our study, we choose an internet survey to put the online questionnaire to have the response all the people around us. For more specific, we use Google Form as our online questionnaire to collect all the data. We also share Google Form link to the public by using WhatsApp application. Our group made unanimously together to share our Google Form link to all WhatsApp group and our contact. We also target to get 10 respondents each from all of us, and the final result, we get 50 respondents in a week by using this method.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Farah Nor Waheeda binti Muhammad Kamsani. I want to present the section A. The section A is more to the detail of the respondent. The first is gender. The majority of our respondent is female compared to the male. Okay, the age. The majority age that answer this questionnaire is 25 years old and below, and 26 years old until 35 years old. The percent is 28%. Okay, 18% for the years for the age 36 until 45 years old, and 46 until 55 years old, and lastly 8% is for 45 years old and above. Okay, for the next is higher education. We can see on this graph the majority our respondent is their education at diploma education level and secondary education levels. Okay, for the marital status, that pie chart show majority our respondent is married. The percent is 64% and 36% is single status. Next is income level. Income level, the highest income level that our respondent answer is below 3,000 the majority, our respondent is from Hulai, Klang and Johor Bahru. For the state, our respondent is majority come from the Selangor and Johor Bahru. For the race, this pie chart show our respondent that do this survey is race Melayu, compared to the Bugis, Indian, Banjar, and Siamese. Okay, for the next is the types of property that our respondent invest. The majority types of property that our respondent invest is terrace house and high-rise house such as flat, apartment, and condominium. And lastly, the employment. Okay, for the employment, the majority employment for our respondent is work at private sectors and public sectors. Just that. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fitriah binti Ainudin Fitri. So I will continue this presentation and I will present about graph from section B. As we can see on this slide, first graph is about financial factors. Most of respondents are strongly agree that they will consider the price of house, capability of loan and income level when buying a residential property. This show that these factors are greatly affect the respondents before they make the decision to buy the property. It is because they have to buy a house based on their income level so that their loan will easily approved by the bank. Second graph is about location. We can see that most of respondents are agree to buy their own house because of the location that proximity to town center and their workplace. Also, they have a person of shop around and also near to the school and main road. This shows that most of respondents want their property on the strategic locations. Next, third graph is about a neighborhood area. Most of respondents are strongly agree which they will make sure that the neighborhood area must have a low crime rate area and have a safety of neighborhood when buying a house. Also, we can see that the respondent agree with the neighborhood area that have a green environment is the factor that influence the respondents before buying a house. Next graph is about housing attributes. Most of respondents are agree with size of garden, number of bedroom, and number of bathroom as a housing attributes, factors that affecting the housing preference of the respondents to buy a house. It is because most of respondents want to buy a house that can ensure their comfort when they live in the house with their family. Next, graph is about developer reputation. We can see that most of respondents are strongly agree with the developer reputation as a factor that affecting the housing preference of the respondents. It is because a reputable developer can convince them to deal with that developer and prevent them from being cheated. Last graph is about motivation of property investment. We can see that most of respondents are agree with a family expansion and hedge inflation as a factor for them to buy a house. It is because they want a comfort for their family members where this can avoid the overcrowding in the house and they know that property are hedge inflation. Also, respondents agree with they buy a house because they are getting married where they want a privacy for themselves and their partner after marriage and get more harmonious life. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and everyone. My name is Nurfadzli B Yahaya. So I would like to talk about advantages of online questionnaire, which is there are a few benefits of using online questionnaire. The first one is time, whereby we could saving our time since we living in century 21, so everything's are on medium mass. Hence, we don't need to go around and looking for respondents for our research since we in pandemic COVID-19, so everyone don't want to bear a risk to get affected by the disease. The second advantage is we may reduce certain costs such as cost of printing a written form, cost of paper, also other expenditure to find the respondent fulfill that form. Next, we can be more creative in creating online questionnaire. As example, using impressive illustration on that form, which is Google Form as my group use. This is for attract the respondent to fill it. But it should be in direct question and avoid with the form, cause it will make the respondent lose interest and get annoyed with the words. Last but not least, it's quite easy to generate and analyze since we're using online questionnaire. Basically, the results from the online questionnaire will be ready to be analyzed and sorted anytime. In addition, online questionnaire usually using the graph and poll so that it's not complicated and difficult to transfer the data to do in report format. Moreover, all the that filled by respondent are mostly answer because the duration of online questionnaire longer than telephone interviews and face-to-face interviews. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Masitah. So next, there are also disadvantages encountered throughout getting respondents for our online questionnaires, where indirectly can bring difficulties to our group to analyze the data. Among the disadvantage faced by our group is where there are many deceit survey which was responded by some dishonest and irresponsible respondent. We able to discover this non-cooperative behavior when there were some respondents filling out the questionnaires without trying to understand what exactly the survey want to convey. Instead, they simply pressing the answer option given without reading it first. Moreover, some respondents did not voluntarily answer the online questionnaires for the reason only being forced to help a friend. As the result, the answer response we received through online survey may not be as true as mentioned because it is likely that respondents answer those questions only to complete it as soon as possible. The next disadvantage is specific terms and words used were unfamiliar among several respondents. It is very important for the aspect to be emphasized for online survey. From our observation, there are a few numbers of respondents could not understand by the terms used in the online questionnaires, which has made it difficult for us to deliver the actual purpose for each online questionnaire, since a respondent were unfamiliar with some use of certain terms. As an outcome of it, the result we receive at the end of the online survey are not accurately contributing in our research. The last advantage is the difficulty in getting respondents who are willing to cooperate. The most challenging part is when we need to deal with respondents who refuse to fill out the online questionnaire, which include their personal matters. For example, in our online questionnaire, it is required for respondents to choose their salary rate and also to put their phone number, but some are uncomfortable sharing such personal information. Other than that, respondents might give bad impression towards us since some of them thought that we might misapply their details. To conclude, this is the main reason why it is so hard to reach the target number of respondents in certain duration due to they worry the details that they provide will be used for any matters that related to fraud. Last but not least, from our online survey, we can conclude that the top three highest mean of factors that affect the housing preferences of home buyers in Malaysia are developer reputation factor, and second is financial factor, and the third is housing attribute factor. So that's all from our group. Thank you.